There is a lot of volatility in this market. It seems like a lot of people are waiting for this September 17th rate cut announcement by Jerome Powell and the Federal Reserve. We just don't really know with certainty that it's going to happen, but that is the anticipation. And so it's led to some, I would say, chaotic sentiment right now in cryptocurrency. However, within this chaos, we've found 4 altcoins that are offering what we feel is some of the highest growth potential. And what's even better is that they have less risk than most other altcoin projects in the market right now. These are 4 projects that for various reasons are positioning themselves to do very, very well before and after that upcoming, supposedly September 17th announcement. That is, again, when the Federal Reserve is scheduling its next policy meeting. A lot of us, for the most part, expect rate cuts by that date. If that is the case, the market could respond very, very well. But again, in particular, these 4 altcoins. Welcome to the channel. My name is Maddie, and this is Altcoin Buzz. All the best of luck if you choose to invest. I wish you well, but I am not a financial or investment advisor, nor is this video official financial or investment advice. All right, let's begin here at number 1 with the SUI Network and the SUI token. Of course, with this project, we are in familiar territory. It's one of my favorite projects for this cycle so far. There really is one thing that makes the Miston Labs team stand out in particular. It's the fact that they just keep coming up with new features and products. They're always busy all the time. There's just seemingly never a dull moment because they're always cooking up something. And of course, for good measure, the Miston Labs team is the team that is behind SUI. For example, there's one recent project that just went live, that is Seal, which enables developers to protect sensitive data within the SUI stack. So it's kind of all about private data on chain in a secure way. And so when it comes to SUI, it very much is in a league of its own when it comes to launching new products and new features. It has its own full stack. So that means products like Deepbook, Walrus, SUI Name Service, Slush Wallet, others as well. And it is actually legitimately pretty difficult to think of other chains that just keep releasing so many new products of this kind and of this quality, of course. It also gets better because during late August, Altcoin Buzz was present during the SUI RL or SUI Real Life event, which happened in Bali, Indonesia. And among other things, we had 2 SUI co-founders who gave presentations. Kostas Chalkias showed us a whole new set of products that are about to hit the streets. And so even in the near future, really, there's no shortage of new products and features. You're going to want to keep an eye out for these. Some of them are going to include Hashi, which is Bitcoin related, SUI Snaps, which are secret NFTs, Updown, a prediction market, CryptoGuard for DeFi security, Smash, which is a social network, and others in the pipeline. Just remember that you heard it here first. The current price of SUI is $3.56. A very good entry point, in my opinion. Quick shout out to Surge in this video. It is a risk-free prediction game on Telegram where you just swipe to guess whether a project either pumps or dumps, and you can earn rewards in the process and pick up some market skills while you're at it. Brush up on your technical analysis. We've also kicked off a daily giveaway. It's super simple. Every day there is a coin of the day. Today it's Cardano, and all you got to do is swipe to find it on the Surge app, screenshot it, and then drop it under their tweet. One random reply is going to win $10 in USDT. It is super easy. So check out Surge, have some fun swiping in the process, and maybe even snag some prizes along the way. At number 2 on this list here is Cardano, and of course its ADA token. Really, this is a project that's a bit of a staple in the news these days, for good reason too. It ranks just about in the top 10, depending on the day, just out of the top 10 as measured by crypto market cap. And with Cardano, of course, we're talking about a project that's been around for quite a while. Few projects can say that they've survived since 2017, let alone do as well as Cardano and ADA have done. Part of this legacy comes from the founder, of course, Charles Hoskinson, who was also a part of the original Ethereum team. You may have known that, maybe not, but interesting piece of trivia. However, he left, he launched Cardano. The rest is kind of history. And right now we're in the middle of the Midnight or Glacier airdrop. Midnight is meant to bring privacy to Cardano. And in addition, there's also an airdrop for the Night token. That's NIGHT. Besides just holders of ADA, you also qualified for this airdrop if you held at least $100 worth of 7 different chains, other chains completely. And so this is a pretty massive publicity stunt by Cardano. To claim this airdrop, you need to have an unused Cardano compatible wallet, which was a pretty good move marketing-wise. It brought in quite a few new faces to Cardano, no surprise there. We have a detailed video that we put out recently on this subject. It's a step-by-step guide to kind of let you know how to claim your airdrop. And actually, if we rewind a little bit, it lets you know whether or not you're eligible in the first place. So check that one out. And if you are eligible, just make sure that you claim before the 4th of October. But back to Hoskinson, because he recently introduced LEIOS, which should increase scalability and transaction throughput for Cardano, at least so we're told, and it should bring a so-called Solana-style speed to Cardano. At the same time, it preserves Cardano's core values of security and decentralization. Hoskinson actually admitted in a recent interview that he and Cardano kind of lost out due to Solana, which is an interesting admission. And with LEIOS, Cardano tries to fix this. So now it's a matter of waiting for how long it'll take the Cardano devs to release this big update, but it is a significant one. So Cardano right now sits at 88.5 cents as I record, well short of its all-time high. I'd call this a good entry. This Altcoin Buzz Spotlight video is sponsored by SUI. Altcoins right now seem to finally be on the move from what has been a pretty rough 2025 so far in the crypto markets, but people are kind of getting that feeling that alt season may start soon if it hasn't already. And SUI is having a great 2025 so far by comparison by bucking the otherwise nasty trend from most in the first half of the year, while still growing right now. It has quickly become one of the leading altcoins in this market and is up over 370% in the last year, in the last 12 months. Let's check out why. First of all, SUI is crushing it on all fronts in which it's involved. It's killing it in the big sectors that it supports, like DeFi. That's where SUI nearly crossed $2 billion in TVL and is almost at $1.5 billion in record time. SUI also has some of the fastest stablecoin growth of any chain, so people are using it for real transactions. And Walrus is changing the game in decentralized data storage. Its token launch was a big success, while Seal and Nautilus make things more secure and more private. Plus, SUI Play 0x1 is coming in September and is now officially sold out with 10,000 pre-orders. SUI even has a small but rapidly growing meme coin market for the meme coin lovers out there, if that's your jam. If you haven't used SUI lately, then you should come check it out. Give it a try. And also follow SUI's X account for all the latest updates. Check out the link in the description below. Next up, and at number 3 here, we're looking at SEI Network and, of course, the SEI token. We are neck deep in the realm of finance with this selection. Really, that's what the SEI Network is all about, and it's doing pretty well, actually, in that space. And I'll back that up with some examples here. First of all, it clears now every day $5.5 billion in stablecoin volume. So compared to the whole stablecoin market, yes, that's still a drop in the bucket, but this is a trend that's growing and it's moving up on SEI in a pretty notable way. Furthermore, there's also a lot more happening on SEI than just stablecoins. We have Nansen, that's the well-respected research platform, has some more stats on SEI. $1.53 billion in DEX volume occurred in July. That's an all-time high. $243 million in stablecoins minted in 4 months. Over $100 million in native USDC minted in just 10 days. DAAs tripled to 800,000, and we also saw 1.8 million daily transactions. In addition to that, SEI also expanded its DeFi footprint with Fast USD. This is an institutional-grade asset with backing by BlackRock. Furthermore, SEI is active in gaming, so it's got a lot of feathers in its hat right now. But its activity in gaming in particular actually led to a 40% market share of all transactions on SEI. It's seen a serious inflow of gamers on its chain, so kudos to them as a project. And then, of course, arguably the biggest news is that there's the filing of an SEI staked ETF by Canary Capital. And what sets this ETF apart from other ETFs, exchange-traded funds, is that this one already has staking baked into it. In Europe, you can already get 2 such SEI ETPs, exchange-traded products. So all in all, it just shows that SEI is providing global institutional access, and I think that's only going to increase with time. So we have gaming, we have DeFi, we have RWAs, real-world assets, which are all hotspots for the SEI network. The current price is at 31.5 cents, quite a ways away from previous all-time highs. SEI stands to gain a lot more in terms of price. I think the trajectory is going to go upward, and it's going to be pretty compelling as time goes by. This is a good entry. Last but not least, at number 4 here, we are looking at Chainlink and the LINK token, LINK. This project, of course, is the leader in the Oracle sector of crypto, meaning that Chainlink is basically all over the crypto industry. You can find it on almost every crypto project. It is extremely versatile, and you can, arguably compare it to a Swiss Army knife for cryptocurrency. It deals with behind-the-scenes infrastructure. As a project, Chainlink can find and show prices for altcoins, but you can also use it in RWA, stablecoins, DeFi, payments, banking markets. This is not an exhaustive list. There are more examples. And it's at the center of a $100 trillion financial transformation. That's where Chainlink brings TradFi, traditional finance, and DeFi, decentralized finance, together. And recently we saw some positive development for the price of Link. That was when the team announced the Chainlink Reserve. So this offers long-term growth and sustainability for the Chainlink network. The CCIP also plays an important role here. This connects various networks and offers cross-chain opportunities. The Chainlink Reserve keeps growing, and as a project, Chainlink doesn't have any immediate plans to sell any tokens from the reserve. At least that's kind of the public announcement. The reserve is transparent, and you can follow how the reserve grows. Every week, a batch of Link is added to the reserve. And while all of this is happening, we also see Chainlink's ecosystem, which continues to grow. A massive recent announcement and a very big addition to the ecosystem was the United States Department of Commerce. This allows Chainlink to bring all 6 of these official government macroeconomic data points on chain. I'm going to get to those in a minute, but it is the only Oracle platform that can do this. And these are very, very crucial data points. Let's go through them now. First of all, there's real GDP at the level. There's real GDP in terms of percent change at an annual rate. There's the PCE price index level. There's the PCE price index, again, percent change at an annual rate. Real final sales to private domestic purchasers level, and real final sales to private domestic purchasers as a percent change annually. The price of Link is not even at 50% of its previous all-time high. We are at $23.62. This is a project that is waiting to soar again. It's very simple, just my opinion. But yeah, that's a good entry point for Link.